This year, we only had one day to shoot. We kind of went, all for it in one time with the Sitka course, which, it was a lot of fun, but it is the hardest or one of the hardest courses that you can shoot at Total Archery Challenge.
But they have mostly life-size 3D foam targets that can be an alligator, a raccoon. Sometimes they have full-size elk out there. Sometimes there's a Sasquatch.
Yeah, big muley bucks.
Yeah, muley bucks. Started, I think, at 11 last year, and this year we got there early and shot at 8 o'clock. Well, we got on the bus about 8:15. If you guys, that's one tip I have for you. When you go to TAC and your knock time is at 8 o'clock, let's just say that's your knock time. Do not go line up for the bus at 7:45.
Yeah,
you will not. Yes, you will not get on the course until about 8:30, 8:45.
Yeah.
Tejas.
Still two.
Tejas Hunt Club Podcast is the podcast for you and you and you and you.
What's up, guys? Welcome to another Tejas Hunt Club Podcast. This is episode 11, the Total Archery Challenge episode. Megan and I just got back from this past weekend from shooting the Total Archery Challenge. We shot on Friday, the Sitka course. We weren't able to shoot the whole weekend like we normally do, but we did get to sneak in on Friday and shoot the Sitka course, which was a little challenging. Just a little bit, maybe a whole lot.
I agreed to it, and then I didn't realize that it was the hardest course in the book. So that was fun.
Most targets were anywhere from 60 to 100 yards. On quite a few of those, we opted to not shoot from the cone and scoot up a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then some of them, we did shoot from the cone. So
some of them I shot from the cone.
This is true. So we wanted to hop on and do a podcast, kind of talk about the event. If you've never been, and if you have, just talk about the event. Maybe you can share what course you shot or how it went. A few things before we get started. We did record, and I've just got done editing a warm-up video that we shot here in Bryan at the Brazos Valley Archery Club. So we have that video up on the YouTube channel. We post some stuff on Instagram about it today. So check that out if you haven't. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Really appreciate it. Follow us on Instagram. And then if you're on Facebook, join the Tejas Hunt Club group. I'll be editing the TAC video, which will be out on Sunday. So like I said, subscribe to the YouTube channel. You'll be the first to know. And then Jared wasn't with us at TAC, but Jared was in the turkey woods again, and he killed another turkey.
He's slaying them this year.
Yeah, that's bird number 3, I think. Mm-hmm. So we'll try and get him on a podcast. Jared, if you're listening, we need to do a podcast about your turkey hunt. Holla at your boy. So if you don't know what TAC is, it's the Total Archery Challenge. There's a bunch of events all across the United States. They have them in Park City, Utah, Big Sky, Montana, and a couple more different places, Tennessee, Oklahoma. On those, they actually have them on the mountain. So like on a ski lift. So you got the gondola up the mountain, and then you hike your way back down the mountain. But this event was in San Antonio. It's, shirts. It's not really San Antonio. If you're from Texas, you know what I'm talking about. Enough. It's at the Natural Bridge Caverns. So it's a great venue, great place. It's got a lot of differences in the land and stuff, so they get to change the courses up and everything. So it's 5 or 6 courses, I believe.
I think it was 6, and then the kiddie course.
Yeah, something like that. But all of them range in distance that you shoot and how hard they are and all that kind of stuff. So you can kind of lay out your day however you want to lay out your day. I mean, if you want to shoot harder courses, you can shoot harder ones. You want to shoot all easy ones, kind of mix it up. That's what we kind of did the past couple years. We kind of shot an easier course to warm up the first day. And then the second day, we try to shoot a harder course. But since this year, we only had one day to shoot, we kind of went, all for it in one time with the Sitka course, which, it was a lot of fun, but it is the hardest or one of the hardest courses that you can shoot at Total Archery Challenge.
Yeah, it has 25 targets.
Yeah.
And if you guys aren't familiar with the targets that we're talking about, so 3D archery, it's not just a flat square target like you would normally see with 3 or 5 circles. It's actually some of them are life size. Some of them are a little mini. The moose, they have a mini moose out there that throws me off every time, but they have mostly life size 3D foam targets that can be an alligator, a raccoon. Sometimes they have full-size elk out there. Sometimes there's a Sasquatch.
Yeah, big
So-
muley bucks.
Yeah, muley bucks.
Elk, the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, they have their own course, and I believe when we shot it, it was all elk throughout the course, so that's pretty cool. We had some bighorn sheep on ours,
Mountain lions,
turkeys, pretty
badgers,
hogs, all kinds.
Oh
of
yeah,
stuff.
javelina.
So pretty much every 3D target that you can think of, they have it out there for you. And don't get me wrong, you are shooting at distance, but then you have tree limbs, you have rocks, you have everything that you can imagine in front of it, right in front of it, blocking the vitals, or even out. Kind of in the middle, you'll see if you watch the video on Sunday, like some tree limbs hanging out in between you and the target that can, throw your arrow off and things like that. So like I said, you can make it as difficult as you want to.
Right. And for me, once I realized we get our registration packets and I look at the course and I'm like, oh, the guys at the archery shop weren't kidding when they said, oh, dang, you're shooting Sitka. That's the hardest course.
Yep.
But they were just trying to scare me. I had not shot over 30 yards before I went to Total Archery Challenge. And so my biggest thing was, and I decided that it'd be a good idea to get a new sight like 2 weeks before we went. So I was still getting used to my new sight. I had already crashed a few arrows in practice, so that was fun before we even got there. But I was able to walk up. So they would take their shots at the cone or move up a little bit. And then I was able to walk up. At first, I started going maybe 35 yards, and then I moved it out to 40 yards. A couple shots I shot from 50, and I was successful 5 points.
Yeah.
Not anything impressive, but I did hit the target. So yeah, you can definitely shoot with the whole group, even if they're more advanced than you, quote unquote. You can walk up. If they're going to make fun of you, that's on them. But
yeah. And I mean, there was kids shooting the course with their dads and stuff. So, I mean, the kids mostly walk up even on that Sitka course as well. So it's don't just because it's like, it says 60 to 100, you're not locked in. It's shooting from 60 or 100 yards. You can, change it up to fit however you want to change it. So that works out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you can also, like, one of the guys we were with, he was getting down on one knee. He was doing crouching shots. Position, I mean, sometimes you had to, if you were at the cone and like you said, there was some obstructions. One of them was like through a brush pile. You had about, I don't know, 6-inch diameter hole to shoot through. So if you're tall or short, sometimes you're on your tippy toes, like a realistic situation. I mean, and a lot of the times that was me. I had to go around the bush instead of shooting because I was too short. But yeah, and sometimes the animal you think is facing one way and then it's completely the opposite once you get to it.
Yeah.
That mountain lion, for example, was way big, turned way differently than what I anticipated.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. And I mean, like just said, the targets are marked. You can keep score if you want to. A couple of guys we were shooting, the dad and son that we were with, they were keeping score, going against
that was
each
fun.
other. But you could either do that or you can just count, hitting the target if that's something that you want to do. Or you can say like hit or kill or miss or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
You can like I said, make it a game and kind of tailor it however you want to with different people.
I mean, because some of those, even if it was a 5 or an 8, that animal wasn't going very far.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, if it was a realistic situation, but they also don't duck out there.
Yeah, they're standing still. So yeah, that kind of take things into different effect. But kind of want to talk about, I'm shooting a Matthews V3X. Can't remember my draw length right now. I think it's like 29. It's not very long, but not very short either. It's pretty average. And I'm shooting 65 pounds. My arrow is a Black Eagle Renegade, and it's like 465 grains. So not shooting a really heavy arrow, but not shooting a light arrow either. And then I am shooting my hunting arrows at tack, even though some people would frown upon that.
Mm-hmm.
But I, risk it. Why not? That's what I'm gonna be shooting hunting. Might as well shoot it practicing too.
Yeah.
You could save a little money and change your arrow setup, which eventually I probably will do. But right now I'm sticking to kind of what I know. What my bow shoots.
I mean, if you're a hunter, it's almost like you have an incentive to use your hunting arrows.
Yeah.
That way you stay consistent with what you're shooting and the weight and flight patterns and all that good stuff.
Oh yeah. All that makes sense. But those things are expensive. So
absolutely.
If you can, I mean, if you're going on like a tack tour, I wouldn't suggest, I guess, shooting your hunting arrows. If you're
don't go buy like 6 boxes of your hunting arrows.
Yeah, to take and do that. But if you want to shoot your hunting arrows, I'd prefer it. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
But if I were going to multiple events and stuff, I probably wouldn't be doing that. I'd find something else a little cheaper to shoot.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of my setup. And then Meagan, what were you shooting?
I have a Bowtech Admiral left-handed bow. I have been shooting, I guess, a little under a year now.
Yeah.
And so this is definitely a confidence booster for me. My arrows are Easton, but I don't have all the stats that Brandon has. I'm still learning all of that. It's like learning, your rifle ammo all over again when it comes to arrows. There's a numerical system that's either forward or backward, and so I'm still learning everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I shoot Bowtech, and I know that there are a lot of great Bowtech women's bows out there. And so I'm happy with my bow. And if you watch the video on Instagram the other day, I posted about being a lefty when it comes to archery, and I'm not actually left-handed, so I'm right-handed. And Jared found that out during our 3D practice run at Brazos Valley. And so I shoot left-handed. I learned at A&M. I took an archery class for a semester, and they told me I was left-eye dominant. I never knew in my entire life. So hunting and everything else, and I think fishing, I cast with my right, but then I reel with my left, which is really funny. I've never noticed that until I started paying attention. So anyway, yeah, I shoot left-handed. I've really enjoyed it this year. I think that I told Brandon I wasn't sure how I was going to feel going into it, and I think he was a little nervous too, that I was going to be anxious, and especially because we had a group attached to us, which at the end of the day, we had a really good time with them, and I'm really glad they were with us. But wasn't really sure what to expect, but I had a great time. And I think that, like I said, my confidence is better now, but
Good.
I also had to make sure that I understand these are solid targets. These aren't animals that can see me and hear me and smell me. And so we'll see how it translates in the fall.
Yeah. I mean, like all this is, I mean, for me, tack is about going out and shooting your bow. Maybe taking some shots that you normally wouldn't take just to kind of, see where you are. I mean, in no way are these scenarios that they're setting up, hunting shots for everybody. I wouldn't take some of these shots.
Oh, absolutely not.
But who knows, 10 years down the road, after putting in hours of practice and stuff shooting, I mean, you are able to take longer shots and still be accurate. I mean, you see it happen all the time. Now, it's not just going to come overnight. It's going to take a lot of practice. But I mean, if you're willing to do that, it kind of opens up different things. I mean, going hunting out west, if you're not comfortable shooting 60 or 70 yards, you're going to be, well, not necessarily you shouldn't be out west, but you're going to be hindered in some of the opportunities that you could get.
That's such a nice way of putting that.
Yeah, hunting mule deer and elk
hiking
stuff.
a lot.
Yeah, you'll be hiking a lot, and you got to be able to stalk better. You got to be able to be silent, kind of know other things to compensate for not being able to shoot at that distance. I mean, it just means you have to get closer to the animal. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's not right or wrong. It's just whatever you're doing in your hunting style. Mm-hmm. Like to me now, no, I'm not going to shoot at 60 or 70 yards. I would prefer to be within 40 or 50. That's where I'm more confident.
It's almost like you shouldn't tell someone with a longbow they can't hunt out west, right?
That's true.
So I stand corrected.
It happens. People do it. Yeah. It's very rare, but people do it. But so, I mean, like I said, if you want to shoot that far, you can. You just got to put in the work for it. But Sitka, of course, like you said, is 25 targets, bighorn sheep, moose.
Oh, I forgot about the mountain goat, too. There was a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, there was a mountain goat. But like I said, they were like in between 60 and 100 yards. Most of the shots were probably 76 and above.
There was lots of 80s.
A few, there's a lot of 80s, and there was even less that were down close to 60. But it was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fun for sure.
And the weather this year was so much better.
Yes, it was.
Oh my gosh, last year we were drenched, and we shot I think at 11 last year, and this year we got there early and shot at 8 o'clock. Well, we got on the bus about 8:15. If you guys, that's one tip I have for you. When you go to TAC and your knock time is at 8 o'clock, let's just say that's your knock time. Do not go line up for the bus at 7:45.
Yeah.
You will not, you will not get on the course until about 8:30, 8:45.
Yeah. Yeah. It took a little while for them to get everybody out, but that's kind of one of the deals about TAC. Yeah. And plus you can get there, spend time, look around. There's a bunch of vendors that they have there.
Free Black Rifle coffee.
Yep. Free Black Rifle coffee. So that's cool. I mean, from backpack companies like Gafaru and Mystery Ranch were there, to bow shops, Archery Country, Live Oak was there.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple other ones there too, but I mean, different kind of brands and stuff, just having products there. A lot of them were running sales on their
Almost
products.
all of them.
Yeah, a lot of them were. So it's a good time to try stuff out. They had free samples and things
Oh,
like
and the
that.
optics.
Oh yeah,
Loopholes,
loopholes there. And you got to actually, if you wanted to, you can rent or like check out rangefinders and binoculars. So as you were walking through the course and shooting Total Archery Challenge, you could use those binoculars, and try them out, or rangefinders and try them out. Maybe you could buy one on your way out or something like that too. I should have, participated in that option, but I didn't. If you see the other video, you'll
understand the reference there.
The rangefinder deal. Yeah. So, like I said, we got there a little late, but starting out, but it kind of helps with the backup, I guess you would say, because you have multiple groups shooting and stuff and a lot of people. It's kind of like golf or sporting clays or anything else that you have to follow behind. I mean, it's not like you're just going to breeze through the course. I mean, we started at probably 8:30 and we were done with all 25 targets at like 12:15. So it's a long time. And I mean, like, there's a little bit of distance in between all of the targets. So it's a little bit of a hike.
You have to wait to so that you'll have a group in front of you who's gathering their arrows from the target, and then they have to clear, and it's etiquette. And sometimes we were moving a little too slow. But usually you have a group not far behind you and a group not far in front of you. So you have to be conscious of where your arrow's flying and they do a pretty good job of between each station having it to where it's safe. Like you exit out the back and you're nowhere near, the path of the target. But it's nice to say clear and, call that out whenever you're done. Don't linger. And, we took some photos and stuff, but we tried to hurry up and do all that. But it's kind of hard not to take a picture when you get a 12 ring.
That is true.
Saying.
That is true.
So, yeah, I mean, it's nice to have a little bit of padding. Like Brandon said, it's not the end of the world to be late. Just make sure you're not in a hurry to get out of there.
Yeah.
And make time to go see all the vendors too, because that's just part of it, of the fun.
For sure. And I mean, if you like we did, we had our first knock time in the morning, and after 1 or 2 p.m., I believe, you can go shoot another course if you want to, and you don't have to have like a specific knock time. But I do think the range is close at like 4:45. So if you're going to go shoot another course, you could shoot a longer one and then maybe sneak in a shorter one. Like I know some of them are 15 targets, so you can probably sneak in one of those in the afternoon. But if you're going to be there for the whole weekend, I mean, from Friday to Sunday, you can kind of space it out however you want to. And I mean, it's worth doing that also. I mean, if it was up to me,
we had time, we would have done it.
Yeah. We had another video shoot on Saturday that we had to go to and do, so we didn't get to stay the whole weekend. But if you can't stay the whole weekend, do it. Yeah.
Sometimes they have, I think this year Yeti sponsored another one. Last year they had the flip-flop guy with the Axis quarter. Oh, that was so good.
Yep.
So they'll have like some sort of cooking demonstration or like a live cooking demo, or the turkey call. Who was the guy?
No, Corey Jacobson. The
first year we went. Oh yeah, that's elk. It was right.
Elk calling seminar, and he kind of set up there for probably about an hour, 15 minutes, hour and a half, and kind of answered questions about elk hunt and stuff like that. So there's other things that you can participate in, like not only just shooting at tack. So that's a lot of fun. They do have a truck giveaway that they do.
Oh, cool.
It's like 111 yard elk or something like that, or target set out. And if you 12 ring it, then your name gets put in the draw for this truck that they do. But it's accumulated over all the tacks. So that one we shot in 2022, we shot the Sitka course. We had to go down into the riverbed.
It was beautiful.
Pretty cool. Yeah, it had some awesome shots in it. Different, things they had laid out, but then to get out of the riverbed was another story.
And have good shoes.
Yeah, that helps too. But
definitely don't Brandon wore some tennis shoes this year, but they're a little bit higher quality. Like I wear hiking boots, and I think Jared does too, because it's rock. I mean, for San Antonio at least. I'm not sure about the other ones. I'm sure there is some up rocky terrain, but definitely at Natural Bridge Caverns, there was lots of opportunities for twisted ankles, and make sure you're putting your feet and cactus. Yeah. So I pulled plenty of cactus out of my legs. That was fun. But just be aware of, what you're walking into literally.
Yeah. And one of the guys we saw a coyote running out in front of us. I didn't see it. But one of the guys with us saw it. So, I mean, there's wildlife out there. Sometimes maybe, it's not a 3D target. It actually is something live.
Yeah. No, overall, I think it was a great experience. I think we got lucky with the weather because we just nearly escaped a pretty bad storm the next day or that afternoon,
Yeah,
actually.
it got pretty wild.
Drove through that on the way to our next shoot, so that was fun.
Yeah, I know they had some that afternoon. They had some weather come through. I saw on Instagram and stuff like that. People were talking about it. It wasn't too bad, but it was bad enough to probably make people want to leave a little earlier than what they wanted to.
One thing about, I'm going to go back a little bit in the process, is registration. So if you're interested in doing this, make sure you follow, subscribe, get the email notifications, get the text notifications, get all the things when it comes to notifications from them, because they fill up within minutes. I mean, especially if you have a certain course and time in mind, like you need to be at your computer at, this year it was 10 a.m. on a Tuesday or something. It was like some random day. And you have to be at your computer with your list of what you want. If you have anybody shooting with you, you can register them at the same time. If they're at work or whatever it may be.
It's kind of a good warm up and practice for applying for tags out west.
Yeah, that's actually great. That's a great analogy. So, especially if you're shooting in a group, make sure you guys are coordinating. And then what else? Oh, this year they had a mock registration, but I think they're done with that. I think that was a good idea, though.
They were doing registration different than they have in years past. So they ran a mock registration before. I mean, they gave away some stuff if you participated. So that was pretty cool. But it kind of showed you how the registration was going to go and how it was going to be run. So it kind of gave you a heads up on that. But yeah, so like Megan said, if you want to like get in with it, I mean, even next year, if anybody wants to come out,
if you want to shoot with us,
let us know. We'll put a little group together. One of the things you can kind of make sure you bring along snacks, water. They do have water stations kind of halfway through the course. So if you kind of have a water bottle that you start out with, you can fill it back up halfway, and that'll last you pretty much through the rest of the course. But we packed extra water just in case. Nutri-Grain bars,
bug spray,
bug spray for
bandanas, sunscreen.
Yes, everything,
extra shirt,
everything that you would take on an outdoor trip, on a hike, or like you're going to the beach. Yeah, that's probably what you would bring going on walking through this course.
And I think we touched on this a little bit, but as far as how many arrows you bring, so since this was my first year, and I think you still bring quite a bit too, not nearly. I had 18 arrows in my quiver. So I wanted to make sure that if I got out there and I lost arrows, that's one thing. But if I get out there and I lose arrows and I have no more because I didn't bring enough, I was going to be really pissed. So I basically brought three boxes of arrows, extra practice tips too, because sometimes I'd learned this while I was out there too. Nothing was wrong with my arrow, but my practice tip had an indentation in the front of it, so it was flying all wonky.
Yeah.
And thank goodness one of the guys with us was like, hey, I mean, those last two shots, they've just been flying really weird. And he taught me basically, like, just bring extra practice tips, make sure you have those with you. And then, like, if your arrow hits something, you need to test it and bend it, make sure it's not going to shatter the next time you take a shot, because that would not be fun.
Yeah.
But I mean, even if that were to happen, any accidents that happen out there, they're fully prepared. They do a whole like speech in the beginning, making sure that we know who to contact, where we are, and things like that if something were to happen. So I definitely wasn't concerned, but I learned a lot.
Yeah. And I mean, you could take a med kit if you got, especially if you take a backpack, probably wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, like you said, there is other wildlife out there. So we didn't see any snakes or things like, bees or nothing like that. But there's always that opportunity. So it's better to be prepared and have it, not need it. And
another practice run.
Yeah.
That's kind of why we treated it a little bit, not to the extent of like everything, but Brandon uses his Kafari pack while we're out there, even though it's like the third of the way full, not even a third of the way full.
Yeah.
But he takes it out there and just to make sure that it's functional and that we can, fit everything.
It gets you familiar with your equipment. So it make what's comfortable for you when you are hunting, how to use it, where the zippers are, where you like stuff. So it doesn't just like leave you figuring all that out when you actually are hunting.
Yep.
And like you have some people that wear camo while they're shooting too. I don't know. Maybe some of the 3D targets can spot them, move out of the way.
Well, I mean, not everybody can buy every color of Sitka pants or whatever.
Yeah.
If I were to I was wearing leggings technically. So if I were to wear my pants, I only have one regular colored pair of like outdoor pants.
Yeah.
Everything else is camo. So I don't hate on it.
No. I mean, like I said, they might move out of the way.
And it's maybe last year's camo get a sale.
It's possible. It's possible.
Yeah. I think that's about it though.
But yeah,
What else?
if you have any other questions, about tack or something, like I said, got a couple videos dropping on YouTube. Hit us up on Instagram, shoot us a message. If you want to shoot, we can plan on shooting next year.
Mm-hmm.
We got some more podcast episodes coming. One I think you're really going to like with Josh Blotchke and Trey Moya. They're going to be coming out next week. That one, we had a good time recording that.
Well, thank you all so much for joining us again on the Tejas Hunt Club podcast. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click that like button. We also would love if you could follow us on Instagram. Like we mentioned, we have a Facebook group. So if you're on Facebook and you're one of the old millennials like us who still use it, go ahead and join that Facebook group. Thank you all again for following our journey together in the outdoors, and we'll see you next time.
Peace.
Peace.